Yo, welcome back to Frankbrox Art. I am Frankbrox, and today we are drawing Storm. Now, there's a lot of news, about the X-Men being in the Doomsday and all that stuff. So I was like, well, this is perfect time. I'm doing my X-Men. So check this out, y'all. Yeah, you kind of see some changes. I'm making some changes in my office here. Excuse that over there. Making some changes. I got some holes in the wall, but I'm patching it up or whatever. So slowly but surely, I'm making a couple of changes for the new year. I got a lot of little tools down here. There's a lot of stuff going on. But hey, check out Storm. I hope you enjoyed. I will catch you in the next video, and if I don't see you, Happy New Year. Let's freaking go. All right. Now, Storm is more than just a weather-controlling mutant. She's one of the most iconic characters in Marvel history. In this video, I'm drawing Storm while breaking down who she is, how her costume evolved through different eras, and how her backstory changed over time as Marvel refined her character. So Storm, also known as Aurora Monroe, is a mutant with the ability to control weather on a global scale. She's been a goddess, a queen, a thief, a leader of the X-Men, and even the ruler of Wakanda. That's pretty cool. Now, what sets Storm apart isn't just her powers, it's her presence. She carries authority, calm, and like this intensity all at once. Now, during the eras, I kind of I wanted to make a breakdown for you guys, like to see through the eras how her costume changed, and I wanted to do something a little different to where, she used to be like a nudist, back in the days, but they kind of changed her background a little bit. Now I might touch on that a little bit, but I'm kind of with this design, I'm kind of combining like her still wanting to be the nudist, but she shows her X-Men outfit, and I chose the one that I like the most. So with the jacket, the black jeans, the yellow X on, I wanted to kind of make that design, based out of all the designs she had. Now, during the the first era, like early comic origins, like 1975 to 1980-ish, Storm's original look featured like a black bodysuit, thigh-high boots, a dramatic flowing cape, and then this design emphasized her goddess-like status and connection to nature, heavily influenced by the mythological imagery. So as we go into like era 2, it's kind of like that punk mohawk era, like 1983 to 86. Now, that was one of the most famous redesigns in Marvel history. The white mohawk, leather outfit, minimalist silhouette. Now, this era reflected Storm's inner conflict and independence, and became a cultural moment far beyond comics. At some point she kind of lost her powers or whatever, but she got them back. So, era 3. Like the regal white goddess era, late 80s, around 80s, 90s, like Storm's look shifted back and forth with elegance, flowing white costumes, gold accents, long white hair. This era reinforced like her role as a leader and, symbol of balance and power. I don't think I got all her costumes because I think she has more costumes than the ones I've shown here. I tried to find all that I could find, just doing a little bit of research and stuff. So, so if I missed something, let me know, throw it in the chat or something, send an image or whatever. But I think I got most. I know I missed some, but anyways, Era 4, modern comic era, like the 2000s, the 2010s. The design became like more sleeker, more functional, less, ceremonial. Like her costume blended classic elements with like a modern superhero practicality. You know what I'm saying? So era 5, we get into like the film and the contemporary era, influenced more by, the movie adaptations. We got the structured or armored look, reduced capes, the grounded realism, still iconic, but, designed for more movement in modern storytelling. So now in era 6, we get into like the modern comic redesigns, like the 2010s to present. We're looking at, like a modern white and gold queen look. The mohawk returns, but it's a little longer or shorter depending on which comic run it is. And, we got the Krakoa era goddess design, long white hair, flowing dress or whatever. And then we have like a high collar regal storm, Arco Mars era. I think I said that Arco Mars era or whatever. So, so we got that. And then, as we move on, she has even more, like up until like present time. We have like era 7 where, like the video games and, we had like, Marvel video games before, but now it's like video games are more, evident, it's more noticeable. So now they put the Marvel characters out there. So they bring back the Mohawk with the Marvel, Ultimate Alliance variant. Then we have like Marvel Heroes, Queen of Wakanda skin. And then just recently we got the Marvel Tokon Fighting Spirits design, which is a cool design, and I like it, and it kind of goes back to some of her designs in the comic. They kind of like put it together, kind of like a mix of like her various costumes. It's cool, but yeah, that's the costumes in a nutshell. Yeah. A little bit about the backstory behind Storm. Early in Storm's comic book history, she was written as a deep spiritual character connected to nature and ritual. Now, in some early stories, this included like ritual and like that nudism. I think I said it right. Nudism, portrayed not as a like for shock value, but as a cultural and symbolic like expression tied to freedom, environment, and identity, back in the day. So in comics, they don't want to do that now, but hey, I wish they'd just go back to the original. So over time, Marvel quickly removed this aspect of her background. As comics evolved, her characterization became more like, streamlined, focused on leadership, power, heroism, rather than the experimental symbolism. Now, this change like reflects like broader shifts in comic storytelling and audience expectations. Let's keep moving on because I kind of like the old Storm. But anyways, so Storm remains one of the most important characters in Marvel comics because she leads without arrogance, she commands respect without force, balances compassion and authority. She isn't just powerful, she's controlled power. Now, that's what I try to capture in this drawing: elegance, strength, and calm before the storm. So if you enjoyed this Storm breakdown and art process, make sure you like, subscribe, and check out the rest of my character drawings here on Frankbrox Art. Let me know in the comments which Storm era is your favorite. and who you like to see next. Now, I want to say Happy New Year to all my hardcore Frankbroxians out there, the people that supporting me and all the people that don't support me and just watch. Hey, consider supporting, just hit that like button or subscribe to the channel. You don't have to hit that thing to every time I pop up, it alerts you, whatever. You don't have to do that, just subscribe, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get these numbers up. So thank you for everybody out there that's hitting that like and subscribing and stuff. And Happy New Year. And I will catch you guys with the next video. I might do, I think I'm gonna do, I might do Cyclops. I'm gonna do freaking Cyclops next, man. So stay tuned. Peace out.